Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy January. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season, a wonderful start to the year. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us for our Microsoft monthly update segment, especially as we kick off the year. We have some great new updates, but also want to refresh you on some of the things that have changed just in the last month or so while we've been away. But first and foremost, my name is Vanda Patel. I'm the Microsoft Enablement Manager here at Pax8, and I have a hand in bringing to life all of our partner enablement and sessions just like this, our regular Microsoft monthly updates. Um, just before we get into introductions with everybody else, just wanted to go through a bit of an agenda just so you all know what to expect. We'll kick things off, like I said, introductions, let you know who you're going to be hearing from, who's supporting you on the back end. Before we jump into some program updates, reviewing dates that have landed and dates that are upcoming, before getting into some solution area specific updates around our AI business solutions, so Modern Work, Copilot, BizApps, and our cloud and AI platforms updates with Azure there. We have some great new tooling available in the marketplace that we'll be demoing for you later on in this session. And we'll be wrapping things up with our guest, Chanext, come to talk to you about the power of how you can partner with them to leverage additional marketing services and help expand and grow your existing practice. But first and foremost, wanted to let you know who's here and who's supporting you today. So coming from our North American team, like I said, we have myself, Vanda Patel, but we also have our solutions area managers. You'll see Sharonda and Alex in the background helping answer any questions you may have. So as we're going through today's session, if you have any questions, want any deeper information, especially around those AI business solutions updates, security updates, definitely want to leverage them in the chat. We'll be hearing from Caleb later on as well, just around those Azure updates. Joining me today from our marketplace team, we have Urvashi and Danielle going through our new migration tooling that'll be there. Definitely stay tuned. It's some amazing work that they've done to help streamline that process for you all and build that natively into the marketplace. And joining us from Chanext is Elodie. Really excited to have her on to talk to you about MSP marketing and how you can leverage Chanext to help support with that. But first and foremost, want to go through our program updates. This has been a staple of all of the sessions that we host so far, but want to ensure that we are still running this, getting you all of the information that you need. One moment. There we go. Apologies. Awesome. So first up, I just want to go through some dates that have already landed since we were on break. Some of these dates have landed, and since we're back, want to just give everybody a bit of a refresher. So first and foremost, starting at the top of this year, Microsoft did update the requirements for those out there for your CSP status. Some of this isn't new. Most of these items are items that you've completed to become a Microsoft reseller. So that's things like business vetting, that's the Microsoft partner agreement. But some of the things that have changed since they've refreshed these requirements, first and foremost is the $1,000 trailing 12-month billed revenue at the reseller tenant level. What that means is you want to have that $1,000 trailing 12-month revenue in the region you're transacting in. So if you're working in both the US and Canada, you're going to need to have that 1,000 USD in both the US and Canada for that 12-month period. In addition to that is the new security score requirements. Microsoft has made this available in the Partner Center. In the security workspace dashboard, you'll be able to see your security score and even receive some recommendations for gaps that you may have. Since this date has already landed, if you're experiencing any trouble while you're transacting in the marketplace, if you're getting pushback with any errors, definitely want to remember some of these updates and set up some time with your account manager just to talk through those issues to make sure that not one of these is affecting you and that your reseller status is still green and good to go. Hand in hand with that is also the new partner record requirements. So we announced this last month. We've added the tooling into the marketplace and the checkout flow. But when you're now going through the checkout flow, you want to be using your partner location ID and not your global partner ID or your Microsoft Partner Network ID. This is just your region-specific ID to ensure that the sale, the transaction is processed accordingly. So again, if you're doing business in the US and Canada, you want to either use your US ID or your Canadian ID. I know we had heard from some partners that were having some issues with this process, but I believe we've resolved all of those now. But again, if you are running into any issues updating your PLA in the checkout flow, please set up some time with your account manager just to help troubleshoot the issue and then escalate if needed. And the last one I just want to touch on is just the Microsoft customer agreement enforcements. Much like the partner location ID, we've now added that partner attestation API as part of the checkout flow. This was effective earlier this week. So again, as you're going through your transactions and your renewals, you want to ensure that your clients are signing the new customer agreement. Previously, that was only through direct customer acceptance, but now with the partner attestation API, you can accept on behalf of your customer as you're going through the checkout flow there. Again, these are 3 updates that have landed just in the last month. And if you're experiencing any issues transacting solutions, if you're getting errors thrown at you from the marketplace when you're trying to check out, again, it could be one of these that has not been properly resolved. And to ensure that you're experiencing no downtime, that your orders are going through successfully. If you are seeing any of these issues, please set up some time with your account manager. Like I said, just to troubleshoot and escalate if needed. We haven't heard of any active issues from our partner community, but that doesn't mean there aren't those out there who are experiencing issues. And we want to ensure that you are receiving the best support that we're able to offer. Perfect. The next thing up I want to share with everybody is just the Microsoft Commerce incentives. I know you guys have seen these numbers, but I did want to give everybody an update on the incentives payouts since Microsoft has done something interesting this year, since they released these new numbers midway through the fiscal year. So important thing to note, this month, you all should be paid out on your October and November incentives at these new FY26 rates, and that includes the 7.5 CSP growth accelerator. So again, as of this month, you will receive payments for October, November, and the accelerator all at the current FY26 rates. Now, come next month, February 2025, December incentives will be paid out the exact same way, so you'll see no changes there. But what you'll also see land in February is you'll see incentives payouts be recalculated for July through September. Since July through September is part of Microsoft's FY26, that first part of their FY26, they were previously giving incentives at the FY26 rates, even though it was FY25. To help with that, coming next month, you should see those recalculated earnings at the new FY26 rates plus the accelerator paid out. Now, after January, February, you'll see your July through September payouts land next month. October through December have landed January through February, and then from March onwards, all of your incentives should be paid out at the FY26 rates, and there should be no recalculation for the remainder of the fiscal year. So that's up until the end of June. So just a couple of things to keep in mind if you're looking at your incentives and rebates, or if you notice that your incentives and rebates were a little low for July through September. Microsoft is going through that recalculation, so expect that to land next month. And I'll bring this up again next month, and if there are any questions or if you're running into any issues, we'd love to hear them. We'd love to chat through them. And so far, the biggest update that we have coming up so far that's brand new is just our M365 pricing and feature updates coming later this year. Microsoft had announced this before the break, but in case you missed that announcement, Microsoft is increasing the prices for Business Basic, Business Standard, E3, and E5, as well as adding some additional feature update capabilities on each one of these SKUs. So focusing on our business suite, so Business Basic, Business Standard, Business Premium, you're going to see Defender for Safe Links added and an additional 50 gigs of Exchange Online storage. So again, really great benefits there, especially for your Business Premium customers. Business Premium is not seeing a price increase, but is still seeing that feature update. So really nice update there for any of your clients who are taking advantage of Business Premium. And then for E3, E5, you're going to see a number of new security features being added from Intune, Defender, Purview. But personally, my favorite with E5, you're going to see Security Copilot being added to E5. So you get to leverage some of that benefit natively inside of E5, whereas I know it was previously a consumption-based add-on. It is still consumption-based, but you'll have some credits for E5 to be able to leverage Security Copilot. So really excited about that. But with the prices increasing price increase is coming July 1st. I'm sure a bunch of our partners out there might be wondering, how do you have these conversations with your clients? What do you need to know about what's coming up? Just before we get to July 1st, there are some great opportunities for your clients to lock in some lower rates with the existing promotions and offers. So from now up until the end of June, current pricing is still in effect, and you can leverage any one of these promotions from that time. So going down the board, first ones I want to talk about are the ones that are expiring the soonest. So we have our Purview Suite for M365. This was previously E5 compliance, has been renamed to Purview Suite. Purview Suite for the enterprise licensing. Not to be confused with the SMB Purview Suite for Business Premium. I recognize the naming convention is not the easiest, but I appreciate you bearing with me as we're going through it. So you'll see that 50% off the Purview Suite for your eSKU, so your E3, E5, that 50% off when you purchase an M365 license. This is amazing because you get some of those Purview benefits that are in E5 available for E3. That expires at the beginning of next month, so February 1st. Right after that, you'll see a lot of our business premium and business SKU promos end. So March 31st, you're going to see the Copilot Business standalone promo end at the 15% off, and you'll see the promos end for Business Standard and Business Premium plus Copilot Business. So you'll have from now up until March to activate on those bundles. And what's amazing about this is we see Business Standard is coming with that price increase. Business Premium is coming with the feature increase. So this is a great opportunity to lock your customers in at a lower rate, especially ahead of those price changes. Now, for any of my partners out there who are working with E3, E5 and your clients, we are seeing some promos extended for those as well. So your 1-year term, 15% off your 1-year term for E5 is expiring at the end of June. This was extended from December, and that also applies to the 3-year SKUs as well. So E3, E5, Purview Suite and Defender Suite, all of those 3 years, you're going to see 10% off up until the end of June. So these promos will last pretty much up until that price increase comes. So it's a great opportunity for your clients to leverage the promo, lock in the current rate, and get some an additional lower rate with those promos. The only one that I didn't mention here is just the standard M365 Copilot Enterprise for net new customers. So again, if you're working with an SMB customer, Copilot Business. If you're working with an enterprise size customer, more than 300, Copilot Enterprise is there. Both seeing that 15% off that 1-year term. So a couple things to keep in mind. I'll keep this flashed up for just a second, just so you can go through, just so you can screenshot this and you have all of the resources you need, as well as some handy dandy FAQs. So I'll leave this up there for just a second before we push forward. I'm going to quickly see if there's any questions in the chat window. Oh, I see we got a handful of questions. Oh, I see a great question from Darla. Is there an upgrade path for clients that currently just have Business Premium? Love that. We'll be touching on that in just a second. I see a couple of those upgrade path questions, so we'll be there in just a minute. Let's see. All right, I see a great one from Allison. For the price increase in July, will that be an increase to all billing terms, monthly, annual, commitment, and annual? Yes, that will be a price increase for all billing terms and commitments. As always, your annual will get you the lowest price available, but even that will see that price increase across the board. So again, annual is still your cheapest tier, followed by annual monthly, and then monthly, but all of those will see price increases starting July 1st. Great question from Corey. If the end client is in a yearly contract that happens before this price increase, will it affect them? Corey, if you have a client whose contract ends before that price increase and they sign for another year at the lower rate, they'll still get to have that rate up until their next end date. Now for clients you have end dates post-July, they'll start to see that price increase come. So that may be where you might want to look into some of the midterm commitment upgrades, upgrade paths to help take advantage of the lower rate in the meantime and give your clients some additional capability. But I do see some more questions on the upgrade path, but we'll cover that in just a second. So I'll keep pushing forward. The last bit I want to leave you with as far for our program updates is just our enablement. We do a ton of enablement here at Pax8 from all of the wonderful events we throw with our channel team, like this Microsoft monthly update, our boot camps, our mission briefings. And additionally, run a number of enablement sessions and hands-on labs, and we've brought those back for this year. No shocker there. So wanted to give you guys a highlight of what's coming up here this month, or this quarter, I should say. I'm really excited for 2026 because we've fully expanded our offerings across the board. So you'll see we have these 1 to 2 hour enablement sessions for modern work, so that's Copilot and security. We're seeing them for Azure and Dynamics as well. So some of the ones I want to point out for you just happening this month. Happening this week, first and foremost, we have our Azure incentives call. So if you're looking to kickstart your Azure business, understand how you can start monetizing your Azure practice through incentives and rebates in the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program. Definitely recommend that session. We're going to have a guest speaker from Microsoft doing a deep dive into the power and the benefits and the partnership from the partnership that comes with Microsoft. Additionally, we have Dynamics Decoded later this month. If you have clients who are on QuickBooks, Xero, who are experiencing pain points, you're looking to unlock the power of the full Microsoft ecosystem. Dynamics 365, Business Central are great tools to help with that, especially with the power of AI built natively inside of Dynamics and extending across the Microsoft suite. So if you're not sure where to start, you want to get started today, Dynamics Decoded is a great session just to get up to speed on all things Dynamics and Business Central and understand just how easy it is for you as a partner out there, right? Even if you don't have the technical expertise, you can leverage our professional services team. You can leverage our matchmaker program to help with the technical service while still owning that sales and relationship funnel. Some of the Copilot ones we have coming up this month as well is the Copilot Chat and M365 Copilot. I know Microsoft has announced a lot of new SKUs, some with the same name, so sometimes it's hard to keep your head on straight in what's included in what licensing. Definitely recommend that as a great Copilot 101, just to get familiar with each of the SKUs: Copilot Chat, Copilot Business, Copilot Enterprise, and everything in between. Copilot for Nonprofit remains one of our most popular industry sessions. We see a number of partners attend this, and you're even able to invite your customers to this session as well. So for any partners who are working with nonprofit clients who are interested in using Copilot, not sure where to start, not sure what the value is, these are some great sessions to invite your customer. The nonprofit one is a great one to invite your customer in, just so they can understand the power of Copilot and even see some use cases that are specific to their industry vertical. And of course, we're running some Microsoft security sessions. Do stay tuned for what the topics are there, but do expect us to cover things like Intune, Entra, Purview, and Defender. So we're looking specifically at each one of those security features in the M365 stack. So no matter what licensing you're transacting, be it Business Premium or an eSKU, you'll find some value in one of those sessions, just getting up to speed on the new Microsoft security capabilities. That also extends to our hands-on labs. So we do have those enablement sessions, which are the 1 to 2 hour great high-level crash course on the individual feature sets in M365, or I should say the Microsoft solution stack. But we are also bringing back the hands-on labs, which are more technical. These will be 4 to 6 hours, and you'll be in a hands-on lab environment, going through the process of what it's like to deploy, manage, and govern a Microsoft solution. So again, here we're seeing the same spread. We're running labs for Azure. You'll see a number of labs we've ran before, things like Azure, or getting started with Azure, or Fabric labs, but we've also brought 2 new Foundry labs here as well. One's available later this month, one's available in March. So if you're looking to accelerate your play into Microsoft AI, Fabric, Foundry are a great way to elevate your business there outside of Copilot. And of course, we're running a number of Copilot and security labs, ranging from introductory labs all the way up into more advanced topics such as Copilot agents. So a couple of the ones that I'll flag right here happening this month: Copilot practice building program for any of our partners out there who are just ramping up into Copilot, maybe looking to scale your business, not sure how to start. That's a great session to attend, multi-hour, and really get the lay of the land on how you can build a Copilot practice from start to finish, especially if you haven't started or are in the process of starting. Copilot agents, of course, is our advanced session. We'll be diving deep into how to build an agent using the Copilot Studio Lite experience that's included in M365 Copilot. And then we're going to do a security session on M365 before you're implementing Copilot. So that's going through all of the purview steps enablement, all of the Defender, all of those security features that you need to turn on in M365 to ensure that your clients are receiving a secure deployment before layering on Copilot, and ensuring that no sensitive information is being shared with Copilot there. I'll drop some registration links here in the chat window in just a second for things that are happening in this month. So if you're interested in any of those sessions I just listed happening this month, I'll drop those links here in just a second. And the last thing I want to leave you with as far as our channel events here is what's coming in 2026. We have some amazing events we're expanding this year with our channel team. Really excited for their partnership. We're coming back in person with a lot of things. So happening later this month, and you're going to hear from Caleb in just a bit, is we have our Azure Bootcamp happening next month in person at our Denver HQ. And then in March, we got 2 events coming up. We have our Modern Workplace Bootcamp, which will happen later in the month, also in Denver HQ. But we're also bringing in these new level up sessions that are all about the sales focus in an event. So we focus a lot on the technical piece, but we want to make sure that we're giving you the sales techniques and the training that you need to be able to go execute on some of these things and see growth and success in that solution area. And Copilot is the first place we're going to start. So we'll be rotating where these are quarter by quarter. We'll be at the Microsoft Tech Centers, and our first one will be at the beginning of March in Irvine, California. If you're interested in looking up any of these events, want to see when they're happening, where we're going to be, head to pax8.com/events. That's where you'll get to our events landing page. You'll see all of these events here. You'll get to see the registration page and where we're going to be at. So really excited to see you all there, especially as we're expanding our enablement offerings and being in person more just this year. And the last thing, for all of my partners out there who are in the process of skilling up, training, earning your certifications, if you're on that path to earn your MAI CPP designation, we want to make sure that we're helping to support you in that journey. And to help with that, we're delivering a number of Microsoft certification vouchers for our partners out there. These are mainly focused on the advanced role-based certs. So anything outside of the 900 level exams, you can request a certification voucher from us. Additionally, not only can you request one through this way, but if you go through our guided growth paths, our OneCloud guided growth, our Copilot guided growth, you can also unlock additional certification vouchers when you complete that guided growth path. This is an amazing opportunity just to capitalize on some free certifications. We also have some free cert training, but especially with Microsoft relaxing some of the rules around the Cloud Partner Program designations, the skilling requirements. Skilling is one of those trees where you can easily achieve those points because it is something that you can actively control outside of your sales funnel. So again, if you scan the QR code if you're looking at the screen over on the left, that'll get you to the form where you can request the voucher. The QR code on the right will take you to our Skillable page where you can find a ton of cert training on demand for free. And if you're experiencing any trouble with either of those forms or you haven't received your cert voucher, please reach out to Guided Growth Microsoft Cert at pax8.com for any questions or concerns. With that, I'm going to dive into our AI business solutions updates. Just like our program updates, I want to start with some of what is new. Some of what has been announced before we get into what is new. So first and foremost, I want to talk about some of the SMB add-ons that we have that have been made available just in the last 2 months. First and foremost, for our business premium customers out there, we've seen new security add-ons come from Microsoft, specifically focused at the SMB. That's our Purview Suite, Defender Suite, and of course this combination Purview and Defender Suite bundle. The Defender Suite will give you basically any Defender that you can think of: O365 Plan 2, Cloud Apps, Identity, Endpoint, IoT, Entra ID P2. All of that's included in the Defender Suite, which is standalone at $10.50 per month, or per user per month. The Purview Suite brings together all of the great Microsoft add-ons that are used to support your M365 tenant before implementing Copilot. So that's things like information protection and governance, insider risk management, e-discovery and audit. All of that's included in the Purview Suite, also at that $10.50 per month. And if you are looking to transact both of these, you do have this bundle SKU, which brings that price down even further for all of these solutions. So at $15.75, you're going to see Defender and Purview Suite bundled together. What's also amazing about this, just coming out of the holidays just last week, Microsoft has announced that the Purview and Defender Suite bundles will now be available at nonprofit pricing. So if you hop in, I'm going to be so bold as to say, if you hop into the marketplace today, you should be able to see those new add-ons. If you don't, just give us 24 to 48 hours. I know our product team is hard at work getting those new SKUs live, but I know this has been something that our partners have been asking for since the Purview and Defender Suites both went live. But now there will be nonprofit pricing, so your nonprofit customers can take advantage of that additional security for their tenant. So really excited to have that and be able to announce that here today. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Copilot Business. So this is our other business-focused solution that was released in the last month. So now if we're looking at the Copilot offerings in market today, we'll see Copilot Chat is our free tier. Can be metered if you're looking at the agent usage, but I'm going to focus primarily on the free tier of Copilot Chat here. Think of this as direct competition to ChatGPT, Gemini, some of these other shadow AI tools that your clients' employees may be bringing into the business that they don't have visibility on. If they're leveraging Copilot Chat, their users are signing in, they retain that IT oversight that comes with Copilot, so they don't have to worry about where data is going. They have the ability to govern that. And again, that comes with that free tier. So again, for your clients who are using ChatGPT, the free tier, Gemini, the free tier, I know with that, there's some gaps in security, especially organizational security with those tools. Copilot Chat really remedies those gaps while still offering that free tool. Now, if we're looking at the paid license, we have Copilot Business and then Copilot Enterprise, which was previously M365 Copilot. So Copilot Business available at the $21 per user per month, Copilot Enterprise at the $30 per user per month. And the biggest difference here is going to be your licensing. What's amazing between Copilot Business and Copilot Enterprise is the feature parity is basically one-to-one. You're not going to see any changes in the capabilities that you have in each one of these licensing, or each one of the caveat here is with Copilot Business, you're limited to up to 300 users in a tenant, and it has to be attached to a B SKU. So that's Business Basic, Business Standard, or Business Premium. You cannot attach a Copilot Business SKU to an E SKU. If you're looking to attach Copilot to an ECU, that's that Copilot Enterprise. Or if you're working with more than 300 users, Copilot Enterprise is going to be the SKU that you want to use for Copilot there. But again, the feature parity is one-to-one. That you're not limited in the number of chats you have, the grounding capabilities, the Copilot Control Center. All of that is the same between Copilot Business and Copilot Enterprise. And I know I touched on this earlier when I was going through the promos, but we also are seeing Copilot Business bundled with each of the B SKUs as well, and bringing that price down into a bundled price for your clients as well who are looking to take advantage of this. So you'll see Business Basic plus Copilot Business, Business Standard plus Copilot Business, and Business Premium plus Copilot Business. And just as a quick overview, I'll share this slide because this one does a great job of saying what I just shared. So Copilot Business and Copilot Enterprise, you'll see that that feature parity across the board is basically one-to-one. So Copilot Chat, or the chat features, the agent features, the assistant features, and the control system, you'll see all of that feature parity is one-to-one. And the only thing that you'll see change is that licensing, just the licensing limits right there. And that is the only difference between those two SKUs. And just as a reminder, each of those Copilot Business solutions do have those promos. So Copilot Business, Business Standard, and Business Premium, plus Copilot Business are seeing promo pricing. The only one that's not is that Business Basic and Copilot Business. Now, I know this was asked in the chat window, so I'm really excited to have a slide on this for you all. But I did want to share that we do have Copilot Business Upgrade Pass available in the marketplace now. This was something Microsoft had held off on announcing when they launched Copilot Business, and they were released just before the break, if I'm not mistaken, probably I think two days before everybody went on holidays. So just to give you all a breakdown here, if you are working with a client who is on M365 Business Basic, they can upgrade midterm to any one of those Copilot Business bundles. So that's Business Basic plus Copilot Biz, Business Standard plus Copilot Biz, and Business Premium plus Copilot Biz. Now, if you have clients on Business Standard, they can only upgrade to the Business Standard plus Copilot Biz or Business Premium plus Copilot Biz. And of course, for my M365 Business Premium customers out there, customers that are just leveraging M365 Business Premium, they can upgrade into a Business Premium plus Copilot Business Bundle midterm. So those are your available upgrade past midterm. The one thing that I will say is if you are going to be upgrading a customer midterm, you do need to, they will need to have at least 10 licenses that they're upgrading to be considered eligible for that midterm upgrade. So that's one caveat to keep in mind. The other caveat that I'll share is if you do have any customers who are on M365 Copilot Enterprise or what was previously just the M365 Copilot licensing, that is not available for a midterm renewal, and that can only happen, or sorry, a midterm upgrade that can only happen, that change can only be made at the renewal period. So once that term is up, they can downshift to a Copilot Business license. So definitely something to keep in mind there. But just wanted to share that these are your available upgrade paths. These are live in the marketplace today. So if you hop in and you go look for them, you'll see each one of these upgrade paths available. So wanted to share that for all of our partners out there. And to help support, I know I've been talking a lot about Copilot today, but we do have some great new programs to help support and incentivize our partners out there. First, just being our Microsoft AI optimization program. What's amazing about this, so from now up until the end of March, for any of our partners who are enrolled in the MAO program and who are selling Copilot Business, Copilot Enterprise, or our nonprofit SKU for Copilot, depending on how many licenses you sell, we will be giving you a payout directly here from Pax8. So again, this MAO program is this is an incentive that's already on top of your Microsoft incentives and rebates. So just another way for you to capture some additional funding or some additional money for the work that you're already doing. We start at 50 seats, we go all the way up to 500 seats, and payouts can go all the way up to $600. I'll make sure to drop the enrollment form here in just a second. But once you've enrolled into this program once, you are good from now up until the end of March. And just a way for you to get paid on work that you're already doing, get some additional funding, get some additional money for your business. Now to help with that, so we do have our sales program, the MAO, the Microsoft AI optimization program. So we're helping incentivize you for the sales. We have the training for you to help deliver Copilot solutions to your customers. But one thing that we've heard loud and clear from our partner community is that you struggle to deliver that same enablement and training to your end customers who are using Copilot. So I'm really excited that we've partnered with Zensai to provide a customer enablement promo here. So you may be asking, who is Zensai? If you weren't on one of our previous MMUs, I believe it was either October or November when Zensai first came into the marketplace. Zensai is an AI-powered human success platform that integrates directly into M365. So that's Teams, SharePoint, Outlook, and Copilot. And their mission is to help organizations unlock their employee potential by combining learning, engagement, and performance management into one experience. And what this means is for your customers who are using Zensai, as an employee, if you're in Teams, you're not sure how to use Copilot, you'll have a Zensai module that's right there. You can click on it and you receive the training and enablement right then and there inside of the tooling that you're using, and it'll be situationally aware, giving you the type of training that you're looking for when you're going to use Copilot, right? And give you those steps and help you with those learning modules, all available right where you are. You don't have to go to a separate LMS. That is built right into each one of those modules in the M365 ecosystem. So again, this is a great tooling that you can offer to your clients to help them self-service their own Copilot training and receive some hands-on learning alongside that. What our customer enablement promo does here is when you sell 10 or more licenses of Copilot Business, Copilot for Nonprofit, or the Business Premium Copilot bundle, you'll receive the same number of Zensai licenses free for 1 year. So if you transact 15 licenses of the Business Premium and Copilot Business Bundle, you fill out this form, you're part of this program, you'll also receive those 15 licenses of Zensai for free to deploy to your clients as well. So they can take advantage of all of those learning and enablement benefits for the first year, right? This is a great way for you to not only drive the value of Copilot amongst your clients, but also increase your own active users numbers as well, right? Again, I know this is something that our partner community has struggled with, that we've heard a lot about, is bringing that training and enablement to your customers. And Zensai is really helping democratize that and make it available for your customers where they're using Copilot the most. So really excited to have this partnership. We'll be running this promo from now up until the end of March. So we do have a short promo. Again, just like the MAO program, as long as you enroll once, you'll be eligible for this promo and you'll be able to take advantage of this. I'll be sure to drop some links in the chat window here in just a second once I wrap up my session here. Want to make sure that you guys know all of these different programs and promos we have in place to help you grow and scale your Copilot business, especially with the release and advent of new Copilot business SKUs. We're seeing the business premium security. This really is a golden era to be in for Microsoft's focus in the SMB space. And we want to make sure that we're doing all that we can from here at Pax8 to help support you. And the last thing I'll leave you with in regards to Copilot, just with all of the great things that have come with Copilot Business, all of the new tooling and programs that we're coming up with, we've extended our Copilot monthly active user contest from the end of December to the end of February. So we're giving you 2 more months there. So just as a reminder, if you've enrolled in this form once, no need to enroll again. You're still qualified. If you haven't enrolled, definitely recommend enrolling. But what this contest is the partners with the most monthly active users. In this time period, we have the ability to win one of 2 trips. So you can either win a trip to our President's Club in Hawaii. This will be a great chance for you to connect with not only Pax8 leaders, but the top sellers and salespeople in our organization across the globe. You're going to see folks from North America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Asia. You're going to see all of those people come together in one place in Hawaii. So it's a great chance for you to connect, get some mind share, but also put your partner brand out there. Make sure that our sales team, our global team, is aware of who you are, the work that you're doing, and all of the amazing things that you continue to drive. Or you can win a trip to our flagship Beyond in 2026, happening in Salt Lake City, so first one outside of Denver. So you have the ability to win one of those 2 trips. So again, this program is going to still go up until the end of February. So again, leverage things like the MAO program to receive those payouts for the Copilot work you're doing. Leverage the Zensai promo to help train your end customers and help increase your monthly active user numbers. And then leverage some of our other training content like the enablement sessions, the hands-on labs to help you get up to speed and help deliver more value for your clients when it comes to Copilot. Now, I can't talk about AI business solutions without talking about business applications. So I know I talked a lot about Copilot just now, Copilot and security, but want to switch gears and talk about Dynamics 365 and the power of AI-powered accounting. So much like we're doing with Copilot, we want to make sure that we're not only giving you guys enablement, but also programs to help incentivize you to help do this work. So for this quarter, we have brought back our Business Central implementation promo. So again, if you're working with customers who are using things like QuickBooks, Xero, who are struggling, or if they're looking for more automation, if they're looking for AI capability built in natively into the tooling, you want to look no further than Business Central, because all of the AI benefits we talk about for modern work, Business Central takes it and amplifies it to the nth degree, because all of that has been part of Dynamics DNA. It's been the very fabric of Dynamics before Copilot even existed, and Business Central Power Platform were the original automation and AI tools coming out of Microsoft. So again, if you're not quite sure where to start with your Business Central business, if you're not sure how to get started, or even to take on that technical load yourself, it's a great chance for you to partner with our professional services team. You'll receive a discount on your implementation pack, and you offload all of that technical that technical work from your mind, right? You're managing the sales, you're managing the conversation, but then when it comes to the actual implementation and the deployment, that's where you can leverage our professional services team and receive that discount. Now, you may be wondering, why do I want to do Business Central? Why should I? What's the benefit to me? How does this help me grow and scale my business? And that's definitely not a conversation that I can answer in just 10 minutes here. But we do run these Dynamics Decoded events each month for you to get up to speed and help you break into the Dynamics space. So again, first things first is the our ProServe promo is good up until the end of this quarter. So know that you can get that $2,000 discount on any Business Central implementations that you're running. Now, if you're looking to learn more about Dynamics, the power of AI-powered accounting, but then ultimately how you can leverage things like our Business Central implementation promo. Definitely recommend coming to a Dynamics Decoded. We're going to have one later this week, as I mentioned earlier, so I'll have a nice QR code for you to scan and register. But you're going to hear from our sales leadership. You'll hear from our professional services team. And we'll be giving you some guidance on all things Business Central and Dynamics, with the ultimate goal of helping you understand it better, helping you understand how easy it is to get into that space, to expand your current Microsoft offerings, and what the benefit is when you're transacting multiple Microsoft offerings, right? If you're transacting Modern Work plus Biz Apps or Azure plus Biz Apps, how each of those things come together and how both of them together help scale your business further. So we talked about the implementation promo benefits to you. We talked about training for you, but again, we're going to talk about training for your end customers. So one of the things that we're running here at Pax8 are Business Central immersion briefings. If you are curious about what this is or you want to learn more, definitely a great question to bring to Dynamics Decoded, but you can also reach out to your account manager if you're not able to make it to Decoded. But this is essentially a program that we'll be running here in North America, where when you reach out to us, not only are we going to help you with the implementation, we're going to assist you with the end customer training as well for Business Central. So when you help set up one of these immersion briefing sessions and you have the correct number of qualified customers, that's 5 customers joining with 5 qualified surveys, you'll receive an incentives payout here. So again, not only are you getting paid out for the work that you'll be doing, but you're offloading all of that work in your partnership with Pax8, right? So we're helping you get skilled up, we're helping your customers get skilled up, and we're helping you drive down the cost of the implementation here as well for Business Central. So we have a triple threat for Business Central, just like we do for Copilot. Again, if you're interested in learning more about this, I'll definitely take some questions in the chat window here in just a second as we're going through our Azure updates. But again, recommend setting up some time with your account manager, your productivity solutions consultant, to talk through each one of these programs, how you can leverage it, and what the benefits are for you. So with that, I'm going to hop into the chat window, the Q&A, go through some questions that we may have. But just in the meantime, I'm going to pass it on over to my friend Caleb to go through our cloud and AI platforms updates.
Hey, thanks, Bandit.
Absolutely.
Thanks everyone for having me, allowing me to steal a few minutes of your morning. So I'm going to go through just a few quick slides on some enablement that we have coming up with Azure programs. My name is Caleb Blackie. I'm the Azure Program Manager here at Pax8. I'm covering the Americas region. So a lot of the events we scale across different regions. The ones I'll be talking specifically about today and providing links for will be for the Americas region. The virtual events are technically open for all. They're just time zone friendly for the Americas region. So keep that in mind. Also, I hear some of the feedback in the chat on the QR codes. Sometimes links can be tricky in the Teams chat for the webinar. So we do have some QR codes coming up, but I'll make sure to go ahead and post the links here in the chat as well. So if you have any questions or anything going forward, please drop your question here and I'll do my best to answer that. So talking about our first enablement event here. Azure Kickstart. You may have heard this this enablement path over the last year or so. We can go ahead and move to the next slide for an overview here. The Azure Kickstart program, we've been running these quarterly for the last year, and they have been a wild success as far as what we're hearing from partners on being able to take practical steps to improving their or starting their Azure strategy there. So a lot of times we or MSPs will need some assistance on like just getting started on the first approach to Azure and like how to understand like the demystification around that and everything. So we've created this program for a 2-month live instructor-led content enablement. So that's 2 months. We meet every 2 weeks to unlock like some of the complex nature of Azure and just start from square one on what's the opportunity and how do we start with building that strategy on like a lot of that complex problem that we can see around Azure as it getting technical. So this is a great introductory course. If you've taken it, you know the value of this, but you can also share that with others on your team. With these 4 sessions, it covers a ton. We'll start with some of our ISC enablement through Academy on the MSP 101 for Azure, just understanding the opportunity and how to get plugged into to understand the profitability around Azure. The next 3 sessions are introductory to technical. So if you've ever attended one of our instructor-led courses with Chris Kirby or been to one of our boot camps and heard him teach, this is a treat to watch as far as like taking a complex problem and making it very simple and understandable on what the next steps are. The second great thing about this is because this is live and instructor-led, you can participate in the chat, come off mute, ask questions, and get real-time answers with an expert that has a ton of experience in this field of Azure and always keeping up to date with the content on the Microsoft changes around Azure and the naming conventions around that. So really great resource to learn from. These courses are at no cost to you, so you can sign up while the links are available. Again, that link is in the chat. January 27th is when the next cohort starts. So make sure to register for that while spots are still open. So you'll want to catch that introductory course on where to get started with Azure and that pricing strategy and everything like that. So look forward to seeing you there. Let us know if you have any questions as well. Next, we're excited to have Azure Bootcamp. I know Vanda mentioned this earlier. We're in person in Denver on February 25th and 26th. We are running low since this is an in-person event. We are running low on seats available. So if you are interested and available to travel, or perhaps you're local, if you are wanting to attend this event, it's best to act now, as we're about 80% to capacity for that for this event. We've kind of doubled down on a more business and more technical approach on this. So in the link that I've provided on the chat here, you can also look at that event and look at the agenda that we have upcoming. Again, talking more about like that Azure opportunity and the demystification around pricing strategy and how to start new with Azure. But we'll also have things like Azure Migrate, Microsoft Fabric, some AI discussion with Microsoft Foundry as well. We'll, for the first time, have hands-on labs experience for either Azure Migrate or Microsoft Fabric on that day one. So you'll be able to spend a couple hours in a demo lab environment with an instructor, learning through a guided course on getting started in either of those scenarios with Migrate or Fabric. So definitely take advantage of, if you're able to travel, we'd love to have you here. Day 2, we start with modernizing an on-premise offering, especially like with Azure and how to make that profitable. We'll have a session with one of our newest security vendors, ContraForce. And then, of course, always a fireside chat or a peer group conversation focused around like the AI innovation coming up with the MIP vision for you all. So excited to have an in-person event. It's been, I think, fall of 2024. It was our last Azure Bootcamp that was in person. So we've been running those virtually this last year. We're excited to get back in the office to lead this instruction for you, and we're really looking forward to this event and seeing you all there that can come. And then finally, this event's coming up quickly. We do have Azure incentives with Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program. The Azure Partner Enablement sessions are led with Pax8 and Microsoft. Last month, we had a few individuals come on from Microsoft to talk about Azure incentives and offers that are available with Azure Accelerate, Azure Credit Offer, just different things that you can tap into to become profitable as an MSP, utilizing services that you're potentially already leveraging or close to being able to leverage. So a lot of this is plugging into like incentives and rebates through Microsoft Commerce incentives and some of the offers that are available through Azure Accelerate, allowing to tap into the right places where you can get funding to provide migration services or data and AI services for your clients. So if you're doing that today, and maybe you don't have an Azure solution designation for SMB, maybe you're close, or you're just needing a place to look at all the offers that Microsoft can have in one place, this webinar is a really great offer for you to come in just to learn over the course of an hour from Microsoft experts on what to take advantage of and when. So a lot of these things, like I mentioned, we'll have conversations with a lot of MSPs that are doing these things already, but they're not realizing the value when it comes to like claiming the right process and everything like that. So we'd hate for you to leave money on the table and not activate on these programs that Microsoft is putting a lot of money and time into building so that you can build your Azure strategy around that. Come visit with us on Wednesday, that's in 2 days, for a live session where you can ask questions. We'll be on that call also with support from Microsoft to highlight all of those programs. So look forward to seeing you there. We really appreciate the involvement here. And if there's anything else that we can help you with, we're always looking at new ways to plug in enablement that can support you, and not just for the sake of enablement, but to actually help you build your strategy around Azure. So always open to feedback and everything. Please reach out to me. I'll be looking at the chat as well for any questions. And with that, I think I'm going to turn it back over to Vandit to introduce our next session. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Caleb. Appreciate it. And we did drop some links for each one of those sessions in the chat window as well. You're going to see things pinned in the Q&A as we're going through questions. So if you're looking for any of those registration pages that Caleb mentioned, you'll see them in the chat window. But really excited to get into our marketplace segment, talking about our new migration tooling that's available, and really excited to have Urvashi and Danielle leading this session. But I think I'm going to hand it on over to you guys. We can jump right into a demo.
Great. Thank you so much, Vanda. Yes, we are so excited to introduce and kind of share a little bit more about migrations with this audience in particular. So as many of you know, my name is Urvashi, and welcome back to our marketplace segment. It's been a while. This is where we sit down with the people building inside the Pax8 marketplace to talk about what they're working on and why it matters. So Happy New Year. 2025 brought a lot of meaningful changes and improvements to the marketplace, and we are excited to keep that momentum going and continuing to simplify workflows through technology and automation and focusing on the moments that matter most for our partners. So today, like Vandit mentioned, I am joined by Danielle, who leads our product for migrations. And before we get into the feature or the demo, I want to spend a few minutes getting to know Danielle a bit, because the way this product came to life is very connected to how she thinks about product. So welcome, Danielle.
Hey, hi, everybody.
So for those who haven't worked with you closely, like I have been able to, which is most people on this call, how do you usually describe what you do day to day without necessarily using your title of like a product manager?
Yeah, I would say the day-to-day is mostly about solving problems, and specifically what users say are their problems. What are they trying to accomplish? What are the actual business goals that they have? And how can Pax8 create things that make those processes easier and faster and more efficient for them?
Amazing. Yeah, that totally tracks. And that mindset definitely shows up in a lot of the work that you do, speaking from someone who works very closely with all of the exciting improvements you're working on. So when you're building something new, what do you personally like to optimize for first when you're building these products?
Yeah, personally, I think it's important to optimize for kind of like I mentioned, those real world problems. So really clarity around, are we solving the actual issues that our partners are looking to fix? And being, I think, super clear on the outcomes before we start building anything helps us make sure that we create a solution that has the, intended purpose when we get there.
Yeah, amazing. So one of my favorite questions to ask all the product managers I work with is, what is one of your like hot takes, product hot takes? It doesn't have to be specific to migrations, but what's something that's kind of edgy or like unexpected that you think about products that many may not agree with?
Yeah, some may disagree with this, but I'm really a proponent of we need to go like as fast as possible and we're going to learn as fast as possible. So I think sometimes we want to, design the perfect solution and that can take a really long time. So my hot take is like, let's just try to move quicker. We improve, we iterate. And I think it's really important that it's a constant feedback loop with our users, with our partners here. So we're not waiting, years to come to market with something that we think you guys want. We want to come to market and then we want to make it better and better quickly over time and not get too stuck in making it perfect at the very first instance that we go live.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that the needs of partners change very quickly as well. So it's important to like get it out there and continue to get feedback as like the dynamics in the market change also. So, well, That's a great bridge into what we're actually talking about today. So this migrations feature came from a very real friction partners were feeling, especially during moments where timing, accuracy, and confidence really matter. So let's talk a little bit about migrations, and then eventually we'll do the most exciting part, which is go through the demo and walk through the experience together. But tell us a little bit high level about migrations itself.
Yeah, so migrations right now is really a response to the need for partners wanting to move their Microsoft subscriptions into the Pax8 ecosystem and needing a way to do that. And so what we wanted to do is create a feature that allows that process to just be so much smoother, so much faster, and creates visibility as well for the experience that the partners are having as they're, waiting to shift their business essentially into Pax8.
Awesome. And then I want to call something out. So this isn't just about like speed, and it's also about removing some of the guesswork during a process that already carries a lot of risk for partners. I think change is always a little bit nerve-wracking. So I think one of the core values that we've noticed with migrations as we're kind of talking to partners about it is the removal of some of the guesswork gives them confidence and kind of like trust in the process. Um, so I wanted to just kind of call that out and highlight it. But before we go into kind of like what the experience is today, can we talk a little bit about what partners were doing before migrations existed?
Yeah, so before this feature was live, partners were kind of going through a series of manual steps in our platform. It had a lot of back and forth, there were email chains, a lot of complexities with the losing distributor back to Pax8, and not a lot of visibility. And so partners would create a transfer request and then potentially be waiting up to 30 days with no insight unless they, were maybe bugging their losing distributor or bugging Pax8 to understand where they were at in the process. And so that was really tough. We heard a lot of feedback from users just that they didn't really understand, like they kind of wanted to move their business, but then it just goes into a black box. And there really wasn't visibility into how it was progressing or if there were steps they needed to take to make it move along. And so we are looking to ease a lot of that frustration as well as just the general ability for people to do this a lot quicker. The process beforehand required a lot of just honestly just a lot more clicks, like a lot more, pieces had to come together in order to get this done. And so part of this is just streamlining and simplifying that so that the actual submission can be done a lot faster, especially for a large amount of clients at one time. So if you have a larger book of business and you're looking to move it over to Pax8, this process, which would have taken you potentially hours before, is now going to take minutes for you.
Amazing. Yeah, I think you touched on like the uncertainty and frustration, and I think that uncertainty is really what this feature is set out to eliminate. And I think partners have been very, very excited about that. So we've seen a great response. So let's jump in a little bit to the interface itself and walk the audience through migrations as we kind of continue the conversation.
Yeah, let's get into the juicy part. So
Awesome.
yeah, here we go. This is the landing page for migrations as it would look in the marketplace if you were a returning user who had already submitted some things. And so I just wanted to show it from that point of view so that you can see it with some data populated to understand what it would look like. So main things to call out here are you're going to have an interface here that shows you all of the different requests that you have submitted for each applicable client, the status that they're in, the direction and the vendor that it's applicable for, and then some of these key dates that would be critical for your business operations. On this page as well, if you were coming here for the first time as a user, it would look a little bit different. Obviously, this data wouldn't be here, but more importantly, these things would be highlighted a little bit more specifically. And these are the resources around getting started that we think are a critical piece of this product and what we're excited to highlight here. So essentially, if you opened these links, you would be taken to our help docs where we have a lot more information on the upfront prerequisites and necessary data that's going to be needed in order to have this migration process go smoothly. So these would be accessible here on the page. And then there's also a nice pop-up guide that would appear when you're a first-time user. So you'd be greeted on this page with a wealth of information to help you get started. From there, you'd click into Start Migration. You're going to have some information around the reseller agreement to complete here, which is one of those prerequisites. and then give us some high-level information about what you're trying to do, moving your migration into Pax8 for Microsoft and CE products in particular, agreeing to some terms and services, and then getting into some of the details here about exactly where you want this business to be coming from. And we've made a couple of steps here to make it as fast as possible so that if you do have multiple clients coming from the same place, you can quickly submit them within one flow.
Amazing. Yeah. And I want to just, before we keep going, is really highlight the fact that the way this was built and some of the content that's been put into the feature is to really support partners as they go through this journey. So like a lot of the guesswork is taken out, like we mentioned before, and the resources are available to them to understand like what they need before they even get started in this migrations kind of journey. So I really loved the highlight of like the help docs that exist, the pop-ups. I think really enabling our partners through the experience itself has been a focus. And I think Migrations does a really, really fantastic job of that.
Yeah, and then I won't do a whole thing, but I'll just quickly show you guys kind of if you kept going through putting in some of the necessary partner level information, linking it to the service provider you're trying to leave. And then this is kind of the fun bit where we get to, you have an option of, you could do this for just one client, one at a time, an existing client in the Pax8 platform potentially, or a new one if you wanted to create one, or you have the CSV option. And this is what I was alluding to earlier when I said a lot of a faster route to do it. So this way you could go, if you wanted to go down the CSV path, you'd have an option of downloading a template that we have prepped here for you. And being able to then submit up to 100 clients and migration requests for each of those clients at one time. So it's way faster than having to, iterate through this process for each of those 100. So I'll pause there, and I think wanted to show a little bit more specifically about what it would look like once you had actually submitted one. Yeah, so on that note, after you've gone through the submittal process, this is where you'd get taken back to this page to show you everything you had just accomplished. And you can see we have some dummy data in here in our non-production environment just for privacy purposes, but this is essentially where everything would be lined up. And let's say, for instance, this one, which is in status in progress, you wanted to understand what was going on with it, you could click into it and then see here a bit of an outline of which things had happened within the migration process, what days these steps were completed on, and what was still kind of pending or outstanding. So for this one in particular, you can tell that the request has been validated by both Pax8 and Microsoft. It's been sent to the current distributor, and now we're just waiting for their approval, essentially. And this is also a place where you could get other details if you needed to, reference this particular request to your losing distributor to talk to them about it, things of that nature. I'll pause there.
This one is a really, really high value driver. So instead of partners asking, where something is or who owns the next step, there's a single source of truth where partners can go and kind of like review very detailed information about the status, which I think is a really valuable piece. And then I think also what's important to highlight is not only does this help partners understand kind of what the status is and the visibility supports them, but it also supports and helps visibility for internal teams who are kind of like supporting our partners. So if they reach out to their sales rep or they're reaching out to support, internal teams can also have that visibility, which I think is a really great way to kind of have a very symbiotic relationship between Pax8 and our partners.
Yeah, great call out there. And I think that kind of segues into, there's also some features around here around when things don't go exactly as expected. And so we do have, the ability to sort by status. So in the case of something erroring, you're going to have partners and internal admins will have the ability to go in and understand what piece of the request failed and why, and be able to troubleshoot that way. And then we also created a particular flow for expired requests, because if the losing distributor does not decide to release the business, you may want to just try again after that 30-day window has expired. And so rather than having to go through this whole flow again, you can click into this little menu here and resubmit with just one click. So we're trying to think of different paths to mitigate those real frictions that partners are running into as they try to migrate their business here.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I think the reduction in escalations, the clear signals, next steps, all of those are all kind of coming together to help partners like lower stress, lower kind of risk, or, and then increase that trust in the process, which is really exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Okay, so just to kind of highlight and zoom out a little bit on like what are our overall values of migrations. To me, it kind of comes down to three major things. So reducing risk during the renewals and sensitive timing windows. It gives partners confidence during one of the most stressful operational moments that they face. And I think it brings clarity and color to a process that can sometimes be a little worrisome. It's a big change for business that they're already conducting. So it gives partners that trust and that confidence to move forward with this process and come over to Pax8 in a really exciting way and focus on all the benefits versus the kind of more stressful pieces of it.
Yeah, I totally agree with all that. And then I think you can't, deny that the time savings as well is hugely important.
Yeah, I think we've had some really even specific feedback from partners just about like time reduction. And I don't know if you remember exactly that time reduction statistic that we had from one of the partners, but I think it was like from hours to minutes that it had taken them compared to their usual process.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, we've had quite a few feedback points about the time savings. So I know that's been huge for people.
Amazing. Okay, so without revealing too much, are you able to give us like a little bit of intel of like what we can expect next out of migrations as you continue to evolve the feature?
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting ideas, and so we're at that point where we have to decide what's the most useful thing that we'd like to work on first, and that right now is going to be Azure capabilities. So as you can see, we've kind of highlighted that this is currently only for entitlement-based products for Microsoft, but our quick follow that we're intending to release here within the next probably no longer than the next 2 months is going to be around Azure being inclusive of this tool as well. So if you want to be able to migrate your Azure subscriptions into Pax8 alongside your other Microsoft subscriptions that are entitlement based, you'd be able to do them at the same time. So that's what we're working on next.
Amazing. Okay, well, I think that's a great place for us to wrap. If you are using migrations or if you've been exploring it, we want your feedback. Features like this are shaped by real partner input. So I will have see if Vandit can throw up our partner voice slide. So please take part in partner voice. It's the most direct way to influence what we build next and how this experience evolves. Danielle, thank you so much for sharing insights on migrations and all of the great work you've been doing to bring that product to life. I know partners are very excited about it, and hopefully our audience today has learned even more about the value that it can offer their business and workflows on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to talk about it.
Great. Well, thanks everyone. Happy New Year, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Perfect. Thanks so much, y'all. Appreciate it. I know we have a couple migration questions that we're going to get to in the chat window before we get to our Q&A, but no worries. Want to make sure we have enough time for everything today. But again, just a reminder, join the partner voice, give us your input. The marketplace is driven by our partners. We want to make sure that it's useful and we're updating it with features that are what you're looking for. So always want to hear back. But with that being said, really excited to have Elodie on to talk about our Pax8 and ChanX partnership, talk about how you can leverage ChanX for your MSP marketing and how you can really simplify a lot of that and streamline it. But Elodie, I know you're the expert. I'd love to pass to you to introduce yourself and you can take things away.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Vandit. So yes, thank you very much for letting me join today. Really excited to present how Chanix is supporting Pax8 MSPs generate more demand via our platform. So I'll share screen and please send in some questions into the channel and I'll review those at the end to cover everything. So give me 1 second and I will share my screen. Perfect. Hopefully you can all see this. Yeah, amazing. So before I jump in, I just want to highlight some key statistics surrounding the B2B buying journey. So the majority of buyers are completing up to 70% of their buying journey before they even contact someone from your sales team. 75% of those B2B buyers are using social media as a key information source during that decision-making process. And finally, 47% of those buyers are consuming at least 3 to 5 pieces of content before engaging with you. And the quality of that content is directly impacting if you're making the shortlist. So what does this mean? It means staying on top of mind with your MSP end users is so important. And to do this, you need high quality, relevant content that's going to create a trusted digital presence for you online. And how are you doing this? Well, by leveraging LinkedIn to ensure that your content is coming across professional and generating those high quality leads, and by using Facebook to expand awareness. Together, using those social channels, you will therefore have the power to generate SMB sales leads. So, knowing that this is really important, why are most MSPs really struggling to create effective digital marketing? Well, most of you will know that it's challenging and costly. A lot of SMB MSPs do not have a dedicated marketing function or even a dedicated marketing resource at all. Therefore, they're struggling to create content because it's time consuming, particularly talking about new product launches, staying on top of how to speak to those products and those services, and also generating landing pages. All of that requires a lot of effort. And therefore, whilst you as an MSP may want to do this, you just don't have someone dedicated within your team to create it. Not only that, you may be selling Microsoft, but also you might have lots of other vendors. And staying on top of that with the latest and greatest content is just too difficult. Therefore, whilst you might want to do it, you're struggling to do it. And that's really where Chanix comes in. And you can see us as your digital chief marketing officer. Because by connecting your marketing channels to Chanix, you get access to high quality Microsoft campaign content, which is automatically published to your social channels on a weekly basis. So what's in it for you? Well, it's effortless, low touch setup. We have a partner onboarding team that will guide you on how to connect your social channels to the platform. It's up to you to define which content you want to publish, and then the Chanix platform and infrastructure does the rest. We automatically publish content to those connected channels on a weekly basis. And what does this mean for you? Well, we see across all of our customers that the partners who are actively marketing via Chanix on a weekly basis are staying on top of mind with their end users and consequently are generating more inquiries and selling more from publishing these high quality engaging campaigns. And best of all for you as an MSP, it's cost free. Pax8 is covering all the costs. So what type of Microsoft campaign content can you expect to receive by joining the Chanix platform? Well, we predominantly are focusing on Biz Apps, Azure, and Ultimate Security. So we've spoken a lot about Copilot today. Well, within that, we'll have weekly social posts that are going out with high quality campaign banners and landing pages that can be directed directly to your website. Within these campaigns, every single form will have somewhere where the end user can leave their details, and all these leads and inquiries will go directly to you. So you'll have access to your own Chanix dashboard. Within that, you can do all analytics tracking in there. You can see who has filled in a form, and also you can see how your reach and your end users have grown over time. And this is something that our partner onboarding team will guide you on and give you a demo of as you join the platform. Now, maybe Vandit or someone from the Pax8 team can put in some links because I want to show you what it would look like for you as a partner by having access to this. Now, one of the questions that come up predominantly from partners when they join this program is, well, how is this unique to me? I don't want the same content as all other MSPs posting as part of Chanix. Well, we have three things. One, co-branded assets. So automatically, every single Microsoft social post that will be published on your channels will be automatically co-branded with your logo. Why do we do this? Well, we want to ensure that it feels like a collaborative go-to-market with Microsoft rather than just an advertisement on behalf of them. Secondly, we have AI text tailoring. This means that every single post will be unique to you. Our data set learns how you would communicate to your end users in your brand style and your tone of voice. If maybe you're more informal with how you speak or formal, or maybe you're a sales partner versus a more technical partner, we will learn how you will want to speak to your end users, but we have built-in quality control. So we ensure that there's no strange, we call them hallucinations when it comes to the text, and also it's still holding to the parameters of the original message built by the Pax8 and Microsoft teams. You also have the ability to toggle back to the original message to see, actually, maybe I want to post how it was built by the Pax8 team. What we're finding, though, is that all partners are posting the tailored version because it's going to generate the most reach with their end users. And finally, we have an AI scheduler. So this means that all posts will be automatically published at a time and date that's most optimal for you. This is to ensure that we're reaching the most of your end users and generating the highest impact. So this might sound very exciting. So how can you actually join Chanix? Well, there's two ways you can easily join the Chanix program. One, by the Pax8 sign-up page. And this will be posted in the link available for you to click on now. By registering, it takes just 5 minutes. As soon as you register, someone from the Chanix onboarding team will call you, and in that call, we'll set up a meeting where we'll take you through how to connect your socials. We're here to support you, so we'll be able to answer all the burning questions that I've covered today around the AI text tailoring or how you can do your own analytics tracking. That will all be done within that onboarding meeting. And going forward, you always have the partner team that you can contact if you have any support questions when it comes to the platform. If you don't feel like you need to register and you're just ready to book a meeting with our team, I've also included a link for that, which I'll put in the chat. One thing I really want to flag here is that we do have a limited number of licenses available for this. So we really encourage you to sign up as quickly as possible because that will secure your spot.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Elodie, for sharing all of that wonderful information about Channext. For any of our partners who are curious about how you can partner with Channext and leverage their marketing services for your MSP, we have some sample pages linked in the Q&A window. You can see some of Chanex's work. We'll also have the sign-up page there where you can take advantage of our Pax8 partnership with Channext and leverage their marketing services for your business. If you do have any questions, be sure to drop them in the Q&A. I know we're winding down. We're about to hop over to Q&A here in just a bit. So if you do have any questions regarding Channext or any of the content that we've gone through so far today, please let us know. But I do want to leave you all with just a few resources just to end our time together today. I know earlier I touched on a handful of events, our channel events, our enablement sessions, our hands-on labs, but we also do a number of thought leadership here at Pax8, from our blogs to the content that we post on YouTube. And one of our regular YouTube shows that I want to put you all onto, if you haven't heard of it already, is Technically Unraveled, hosted by our very own Kristen Fehrenbach. This is a great podcast to tune into here on YouTube. Kristen will meet with a guest every other week to deep dive into high-hitting topics in the MSP space, from Microsoft topics to vendor topics to profitability and everything in between. So great place to tune in if you're looking for any of that mind share and keep up to date on what's happening in the MSP community. Additionally, we do have a number of linked resources here as well. I know we've been dropping resources in the chat window as we've been going through the session today, but we do have some extra resources that we'll leave you all with here as well, just sort of standard resources for you to stay up to date on all things Pax8 Microsoft, Microsoft Direct, and any training material that you need. But with that, right before we get into Q&A, the last thing I want to leave you with is if you have any questions, if you're looking to follow up on anything that we went through today, that's our program updates, any of the changes that have happened or are coming up, any of the new programs that you've heard of, from the Copilot programs to our Azure programs, if you're looking to learn more about the program. If you want to have some one-on-one time, schedule some time with your Pax8 rep, your account manager, your productivity solutions consultant, to have those in-depth conversations before you sign up for some of those programs, just so you have the information you need moving into January 2026. But with that, we're going to hop into our Q&A. I know we've been hammering out questions via the chat window, but now we're going to take some time to ask questions live. So I'm going to pop on over to the chat window to see if you have any questions just before we wrap up our session today. Awesome. Taking a look through our questions now. Looks like we have most everything answered. I'm going to keep it open for just another minute or two. I know we're getting right to the end of our time together. So if you do need to jump, no worries. But again, our team is on to help answer any questions you might have just before we wrap. And if there are no questions, thank you all so much for your time today. Thank you for joining us on the first Monday of the brand new year, or second Monday of the brand new year, 2026, for your Microsoft monthly updates. Excited to see you all here again. Excited to see you in person at our upcoming events. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a marvelous Monday and a wonderful week ahead, and a peaceful and prosperous 2026. Thank you.